Hi, so another bike build video. This one is a collective C100 V2, the second version. So I'm building this one up. Right, first things first. Comes in a box. There's already, I've noticed at the bottom on one side, it's got some damage, which is a bit of a shame. So if you can see that, somehow the box has become damaged, and there's a brake caliper in there which is also damaged. So I'm going to open it up and see how bad that one is. This is a black colour. They come in one size, which is a 19-inch frame. It was delivered to me here for me to build. First thing I've noticed, it says on the top of the box, any bicycle that is purchased through mail order or over the internet must be assembled by an authorised collective bikes bicycle dealer or a qualified mechanic at a registered bicycle store. I'm not a collective bikes dealer, I am a registered mechanic, so this warranty will still be okay. Right, I'm going to open the box and see what's inside. I've looked at another unboxing video of this, and apparently it's supposed to come with pedals and reflectors and a bell. This one doesn't look like it does, so we'll see what's happened. Right, usual seat post, pop that over there. The rest of the bike is all in one bit, so I'm going to take it out of the box, hopefully fairly easily. No, I tell a lie, there is a little box at the bottom. So first things first, I'm going to get rid of this box and then we'll have a closer look at the bike and see what we get with it. Okay, so got rid of the box. Bike's all tied out together. Inside, I thought it wasn't in here, but it was right at the bottom, is what I presume to be the pedals. So let's have a quick look, see what we get. So we've got quick release skewer, spanner, blimey, that'll come in handy. Some reflectors, what looks like a front chain guide to stop the chain coming off. I think you have to supply it with that by law. I've got a front reflector, rear reflector, couple of Allen keys, so presumably you could build it yourself with the tools that they give you. I'm going to pop that down there and start taking this packaging off, which I will do as quickly as possible. Right, let's go. Front wheel, couple of caps on it. The crank arm was sticking through the wheel, but that looks okay. No damage to it. All looks good. Yeah, good. Okay, so I've taken all the packaging off, which is strewn all over the place. Quick look at the bike. There's a little blemish. It's just like a manufacturing blemish in the top tube. No scratches on this rear triangle, this side. Looks like there's lots of grease on the cranks, which is a good thing. And the forks are undamaged. They look like Suntour forks. They don't say what kind of forks they are on the website, but I'm pretty certain, I'll double check later, that they are Suntour 29-inch forks with like a little lockout on the top. So it's a simple build, this one. Pedals, handlebars, front wheel, and then set up. Nice and easy. Again, a few tiny little blemishes in the paint, like manufacturing blemishes. The graphics are lacquered over, they're not stickers. I can hear the back brake rubbing. So, first of all I'm going to build it, and then I'll get it set up properly. Okay, I spun the bike round in the stand. First things first, I'm going to put the handlebars on now. I've undone these, I've taken the front off the clamp. What I have noticed is that the two bolts at the bottom have got lock washers, and the two bolts at the top don't have lock washers. No idea whether that's accident or design. When you hold the handlebars up, make sure that the cable routing is as you're going to want it, and then very carefully, I would start these bolts by hand, because if you start them with an Allen key, there's more of a chance that you're going to cross thread them, and you really don't want to do that on a brand new bike. So 3 of them started okay, 1 of them has started not quite as well as I would want it to. That's a bit tight. Now they're all started okay. So I know they're not cross threaded. Just get the right size Allen key, and I'm going to spin those round. And when you're doing this, you want the gap at the top and the bottom of the clamp to be the same. So I'm roughly spinning these into place. And it says on the front, maximum 6 Newton meters clamping those up. So it's nice that they tell you, if you don't have a torque wrench, 6 Newton meters is tight, but it's not that tight. Ideally you want to get this built by someone that has got a torque wrench, and then you know you've not over tightened it. So the gap at the bottom is about 3 mil, and the gap at the top is about 2 mil. So I'm just going to loosen off the top and tighten the bottom. Right, I'm going to nip those up, because once I've built the bike, I'm going to angle the handlebars how I think they should be, along with the brakes, etc. And then I will tighten them up and show you how I tighten them up. When you do tighten them up, you tighten them diagonally. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep tightening that just a little bit until they're torqued up. So those are nipped up but not tight, which is how I want them. Handlebars on. The cable routing isn't too bad. I think I can take a little bit back on the hose. No, that's fine. Right, front wheel, somewhere in the box that I got was a skewer, a quick release skewer. So let me dig that out. The quick release, it always goes on the actual lever itself will go on the left hand side of the fork. Now this did have a spacer, a little orange spacer in the front caliper, but it's fallen out. I'm hoping what that does means if you accidentally pull the brake, it doesn't close up the brake pads too much. So I'm going to run this on the wheel with the quick release handle on the same side as the disc itself. And just a couple of turns on that. So if you look at the wheel itself, you might be able to see that the larger diameter part of the spring goes on the outside, and the smaller diameter part of the spring goes on the inside towards the wheel nuts. Right, let's pop it on. Which is easier said than done from this angle. So I'm just holding the wheel up and I'm going to stop the quick release handle spinning and turn this. Clockwise so it nips up a little bit, and I'm just going to nip it up so the wheel doesn't fall out. Next thing I'm going to do, drop the bike on the floor and adjust the quick release. So the way I do that is I'm going to lean over the handlebars. Let me move the camera so you can see, which hopefully will be there. So I lean over the bike to make sure that the wheel's seated in the dropouts, nip it up a little bit. These quick releases, they don't need to be really hard to force back. So you don't want it too tight, you also don't want it too loose, because you don't want your wheel to fall out. But that's fine, and if I run that through, that's quite good actually, because the disc's not rubbing either. Well, that's really good. That's going to make it a lot easier. The back one is rubbing a little bit. Right, so that's kind of most of the build. I'm going to put the pedals on, and I've been given a bottle cage to put on it as well, so I'll do that. Right, pop it back in here. Right, so with the wheel on, the handlebars in place but not torqued up yet, the next job is the pedals. Now I think I said earlier that these are plastic pedals. They're not plastic pedals, they're Well-Go metal pedals, which is not too bad actually, because normally you get bikes with pretty awful plastic pedals. I have been given a set of pedals to put on instead. These are the same as I've got on my own bike actually. They're DMR V12 magnesium pedals. They're light, they're super grippy, and they'll tear your skin apart if you slip off them. So that'll be fun for it. Right, they should be marked left and right, which they are. The right side goes on the side with the chain wheel. The thing to remember about the pedals is you're always turning them towards the front of the bike, which means that the one has a reverse thread on it. So you're turning it the wrong way to tighten it up. Spin those on by hand. What inside the thread, there's grease already put in there, which is really good. It's good to see. Same again, spin this one hand, spin it again, be careful not to cross the thread. I'm just going to spin that by hand, so as far as I can get it by hand. I'll just spin it on by spinning the pedals round. Okay, so they're nipped up by hand. I'm going to whip the bike off the bike stand. I've got a pedal spanner, but it's a 15mm spanner. As I said, the kit did come with a spanner, and it does fit your pedals, but you want to get the pedals nice and tight. So if you've got a proper spanner, or you know someone with a proper spanner, then use it. I'm just going to drop the camera down a little bit, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Right, so with the pedal spanner, slot that onto the pedal, and now using the pressure of the bike, I can tighten that up nice and tight. Spin the pedals around with the other one, do exactly the same. So I'm just going to lift that and push it down nice and tight. Now when this goes out, I'll ask that they bring it back in a month or so, just so I can make sure that everything I've tightened up has stayed tight. Right, so that's wheels in, pedals in, handlebars done loose, not torqued up yet. Next thing I'm going to do, I've been given a bottle cage as well to put on it. I'm not going to video putting a bottle cage on, so I'll do that and then I'll skip to the next stage. I'll even put the camera back up as well, so hopefully you can see the bike. Right, the bike's all built now. I've torqued everything up. The little plate on the crank arm was actually the wrong way around, so I took that off, switched it around the right way, tightened it up. The brakes are not rubbing. Everything seems to be working well. The gears are set up. So here's a quick overview of the bike. It's got fairly standard wheels on it. I think they're rim brake wheels, but obviously it's run with discs, so it doesn't need it. It's got a Shimano Dior rear mech with a clutch, which should stop the chain bouncing off. It's got nice Shimano Z cranks, fairly standard seat, unbranded seat post. It's got a Collective Bikes branded stem, which is quite nice, quite smooth, and Collective Bikes branded handlebar as well. It's got Suntour 29-inch forks, Shimano disc brakes, and Shimano Dior shifters as well. I think they're unbranded grips, but they're fairly nice, fairly soft. Overall, it looks quite nice actually. This one's off to spend hopefully most of its time on its back wheel, but we shall see. Thanks for watching.